So let's say on test day, you open a sheet of paper and this is what you come across. This is the question. You don't have an option. You have to answer this question. So let's look and let's understand what this is about. This is the question prompt that is asked of us. All right. So this is what your main focus is. And all of this criteria which you see surrounding the question, you see all of these things, they are constant and they remain throughout, irrespective of which essay you get on test day. All right. So you should spend about 40 minutes on this task, write about the following topic, give reasons for your answer. Yes, very important. Point 1 to note. Include any relevant examples. So include examples. The second point to note. And write at least 250 words. The third point to make a note of. All right. So all of these things are once again referring to task response, whether you give the reasons, whether you include examples or not, and so on. All of these are going to cost you or boost you in the task response parameter of the marking. All right. So now let's look at the question a bit closely and let's understand step by step what it is about. The first part of the question, weddings are getting bigger and more expensive. So that is the general statement. That's the background statement which gives you the context, the subject of today's topic or of the question prompt itself. What is the reason for this? The first question. So because this is a direct question essay, you will have some very simple and straightforward questions which you need to answer. So this is direct question 1. The first question, is this a positive or a negative development? Direct question 2. All right. So that is how it works. All right. So this is how you should understand an essay and understand the question itself before writing it down. All right. So let's move ahead and let's look at the question once again. So we see that the weddings are getting bigger and expensive. So they're getting bigger and larger and they're getting more expensive, more elaborate. What is the reason? And is this a positive or negative development? So before we move ahead, let's discuss with everyone what is the reason and what is the opinion. What do you think? Is this a positive or a negative trend? So can you tell me what are the reasons why weddings are getting larger and more elaborate, more luxurious? Any reasons that come to mind? Short reasons.
Trying to copy movies.
Sorry?
Trying to copy movies.
Okay. Imitation of movies.
Societal status.
Societal status, fine.
Social expectations.
Social expectations.
Show off.
Okay. Showing off. All right. Any other reasons which come to mind that why people make or why people have elaborate, extensive weddings? There are a few more. Anybody else?
Memories, to create memories.
Okay. To create memories, to celebrate once in a lifetime occasion for most people. So they want to splurge and they don't want to hold back in any way. They want to spend a lot of their savings on that one day or a couple of days. Any other reasons which come to mind? All right. So now let's move on to the other part of the question, the other part of the question prompt. Is this a positive or a negative trend? So do you think having weddings, large weddings, is a positive movement or something that is a negative development and a negative trend which is going on right now? So what do you guys?
It depends on financial status.
Okay. But that does not answer the question whether it's positive or negative. You have to take a clear stand. Do you think it is a good thing or is it a bad thing?
It is positive. It is positive because it drives the economy.
Positive, okay. Drives economy. All right.
I think it is a negative trend.
Okay, what is the reason for that?
Ma'am, to maintain a social status in society, and the middle class family doesn't have that much of wealth.
Okay, so it's due to some pressure which people face, and they are expected to make sure that they celebrate weddings in a grand way. All right. Any other views? Any other views, positive or negative?
Ma'am, I have a doubt. Can't we stand 50-50 stand on both sides, no?
You can take, yes, it is possible to take a bifurcated stand. It is very much possible. But then you need to make sure that your language and you're very clear in writing the paragraph in such a manner. So if you're clear with that, of course, take the bifurcated stand, take the divided view. But just to keep things simple, it's easier and clearer to take one stand and write on that. But if you feel that you have two views, of course, you can go and write that as well. That's perfectly acceptable.
Sure, thank you.
Right? So any other views? Anybody else who thinks it's a positive thing or a negative movement, a negative trend?
I think it's positive because we get only a chance in a lifetime to get married, and it's okay.
Okay, so it's a celebration.
It's a negative, madam. Ma'am, it's negative because most of the money is spent by black.
Just a
There is no
second.
tax, nothing.
Yes, Kumar, can you please repeat?
How
You
can you prove that?
just a second. Kumar was talking first, so let's go with that and let's proceed with the next person after
It's
that.
negative because most of the spend is actually cash they will pay, and it's
Okay.
black money. There is no online transaction, no bank transactions.
Okay.
So I feel it's a negative.
Okay. So let me write that down. All right. There was somebody else who was saying something. So what is that? What was that? Is it positive, negative? What is it?
I just try to counter black money stuff. Nobody can say that it's norm.
So,
It's a norm.
no, it's not a norm. But once again, people are entitled to their own opinions and their own views on a particular essay or a topic. So it's okay.
Okay.
So anybody else who thinks it's a positive or a negative trend? Any ideas? Okay. So let's move on with this. So now this is how you should generate content for your task. So on test day, this should take about 1 minute or 2 minutes at max, not more than that, because you have a very constrained time frame and you need to be very efficient while you're doing everything when you're working on this. So think of reasons or think of a reason because they ask you for something, and make sure you have enough content to talk about. Let's say if you want to talk about, for example, imitation, or the fact that we want to showcase ourselves on social media, or it's done for memories or movies or whatever it is, think of a particular thing and make sure you have a lot of content with examples to support that point. Be very clear on that. Make sure you have enough substance to support this point and why people are doing that. All right. And then you move on and you talk about whether it's a positive or a negative trend. Whichever you feel, whatever is your opinion, that's perfectly fine, because there is no judgment on the opinion itself. They are testing your language. So as far as you write the correct language in the correct format with the right words, they're going to mark you on that. All right. So whatever your view is, make sure it is related directly to the topic and not somewhere far away, and write on that. Take a stand. It's best to take one clear position, whether you think it's positive or negative. Take one clear stand and write it down. That's the most simplest way to move ahead. Of course, if you have divided views, if you're able to form the paragraph in such a way where you're able to balance both views, great. You can do that as well. All right.